direction. Probably going to look at taking a third base over here pretty soon. And this barracks will go down. AfterSTAR pulling over to repair it again. This is quite a few riflemen now, but they do have +1 attack, so they are going to get another dragon here. Which is nicely done from AfterSTAR, but this is a lot of riflemen getting picked off. Impressively, he has actually managed to keep this barracks alive for now, just because dragons don't do a huge amount of damage. Dragon getting pulled out of position here. Oh, he doesn't want to take that much damage. Dragons do have a natural regeneration on their health. You can see it slowly ticking up, but it is very slow at the moment. It takes a long time for dragons to regenerate all their health. And this is going to be some is that strength? I think that's actually armor. It's going to be armor upgrades for the dragons here, which is a good choice against all these riflemen. And as I said, there goes the third base. It's kind of resetting the game for the moment. These dragons need to be out on the map and harassing more. You can see AfterSTAR's managed to build up a nice chunk of riflemen, and they will be able to push away pretty much any dragon attack for the moment. They can do huge amounts of damage. Dragons just don't do well against them. But this might be a good opportunity for Scaphism to look and swapping to mages. Mages with heal, just because dragons have so much health, are really quite effective. Or either to grab Fireball, just because riflemen really struggle against Fireball. Especially you can see the way they clump up so naturally. So I think mages would be a good pick to follow this up with. I don't think you can really contest sort of barracks versus barracks right now. But AfterSTAR does only have 3 at the moment. So it's an interesting one. Both players just choosing to hang back for the moment. I really think this is a mistake though from Scaphism not to be darting in. Even just to take down something like this castle up at the side. Just dart in, harass the barracks maybe. But I don't know. I think he should be out doing damage since he's invested so much into his dragons. And AfterSTAR's just going to keep pumping riflemen right now. Does again make him very vulnerable to something like Fireball, but that's not what his opponent's going for. So it is going to be a little bit more of a quiet time in this match, so we can just talk about the late game opportunities that this map sort of gives you. Now, obviously you can break down this entrance and natural, again access this slightly more open third, but there's also some extra little side paths that are not quite as important as in the actual StarCraft map, you can see here, but they are interesting little opportunities, especially these side paths along here, where you wouldn't normally engage your opponent. It can actually prove quite important. Okay, so there's going to be a forge now coming out of Scaphism, as AfterSTAR just looks to go into this rifleman catapult state. Scaphism actually putting out a house here at the front, just to serve as a spotter. And you can see he's going to be done with a forge of his own pretty soon. He is pretty far behind in upgrades. As AfterSTAR is going to move out to the right side of the map. Scaphism is going to spot this with the house, and that house will be forfeit. And there you go, you can see now AfterSTAR is going to be seen moving around to this right side. Dragon's going to swing round, but I think AfterSTAR is in a pretty good position. There's a lot of soldiers underneath this, which is going to be good against the rifleman. But you can see, with this natural choke, well, this choke that he's created his own natural, sorry, and the fact that dragons are going to get separated from soldiers, it's going to be really difficult for him to swing around and react to where AfterSTAR is going to keep pressuring from each side. I would like to see AfterSTAR try and split his army into two groups here, and abuse the fact that you can either attack on this side or around this side, and try and micro both groups at once, but he's just playing it safe. He's going to come in and put a lot of pressure on this much more undefended side right now. So he's going to step in, this worker will go down, and the house is going to drop pretty shortly afterwards. He's now inside the natural, and he will be looking to either take down a castle or to get work picks. It looks like the castle is going to be his target of choice. The dragons step forward, but he's got to keep this fairly clumped, otherwise the riflemen are just going to absolutely shut them down. The dragons are going to rain a bit of damage down now, but AfterSTAR trying to put... The problem is, you can see AfterSTAR is just putting too much damage on different targets. He needs to focus far one down. If these soldiers now get on top of the riflemen, and they are going to get pushed all the way back, this is really not the fight he was hoping for. Nicely done by Scaphism there. One dragon does fall, but it's a lot less than possibly could have been done if the focus fire had come in here properly. The riflemen are still trying to stutter step, but I think this is a lost battle for them, and the fact that all these riflemen are dead gives full map control to Scaphism. Scaphism now has a massive opportunity to just go and harass, do worker damage, attack buildings, and also keeps his own third safe. AfterSTAR does have some more units back at home here. And he is now going to see the dragons are going to come swinging in from this left hand side. Fireball's now starting to rain down. And Scaphism's actually only left two dragons here, which is possibly a mistake. They're actually going to get focused down properly now here. But it looks like that was just a ploy just to bring AfterSTAR around to the left hand side. He's just going to come around, check for this fourth base, and then possibly go in to engage again. Now Scaphism's actually grabbing a fourth base of his own now in the background here. Now the catapult is going to be really useful against these high health soldiers here. It's going to get punched through some of their armour, as you can see sort of below the dragons here. With the dragon's support, it is going to look like these soldiers are going to win the soldier battle, and these riflemen have just got to get the damage output they need. It is down to 4 dragons and not a huge amount of soldiers, so Scaphism may get pushed away here. But one dragon does fall, so I think he's probably going to have to back out. I think the upgrade is possibly winning the battle there for AfterSTAR with +3. But AfterSTAR's now got to find an answer to the fact that Scaphism's gone for this 4. And he is actually about 4 workers ahead, which is significant. Looks like Scaphism's not either got the money or electing to continue pumping out these dragons. He's just going to keep the ones he has at the moment. Just stacking his own unit for a second. And AfterSTAR now is actually going to grab the castle over for his 4th. You can actually see now the vulnerabilities here, either through this path, this side path, or attacking from behind here. Same on the other side for his opponent. It's really going to create some vulnerabilities. It's quite easy for mages to just put to here, throw some fireballs across, and then suddenly you're missing about 8 workers. So both players are sort of sitting back for a while, just trying to pump out some units. And the problem is for AfterSTAR, he does have upgrades coming. They will be up at +4 in just a second here. But his opponent's also getting upgrades, and that does cap out pretty quickly. His opponent's already got +3 defense, and he's going to be grabbing 2 more upgrades at once. So very quickly, AfterSTAR in about 2 minutes is going to find that he's actually going to be behind in upgrades for the first time in this game. And seeing how well he's engaged, even with upgrades, that's possibly going to be deadly for him here. You can see there's a lot of riflemen in his force, but in battles like this, the soldiers actually have so much health and armor, they make up a massive amount of, sort of how much you can take from your opponent before you have to back off. Slightly disappointing at the moment to not see their opponent try and go for more counter-attacks. It'd be nice to see some more of that after we saw from the games from Bolt last week. And actually Mage's Guild now starting up down the bottom right hand corner here for AfterSTAR. So possibly he's suspecting his opponent switched off dragons, and he's going to try and either go for a heal soldier build or possibly a fireball build. Fireball would make more sense with the amount of riflemen he's got here. But we'll see how it goes. It is actually going to be very even supply counts here, as both players just sort of macro up and aim for their sort of composition they want to end the game with. AfterSTAR possibly doing a little bit of scouting just to see what he can find. And he's going to find this fourth now. Scaphism electing to only send 1 soldier, just keep his composition to himself for the moment. As he goes, he is actually going back into dragons. I didn't actually notice that. He does actually have +5 armor on his dragons here. So these riflemen will have slightly reduced damage, only by about 1. But that does make a big difference. This ground units do have +2, +3. So actually he's invested a lot into this tech, as opposed to actual ground army. And we're going to see that reflected somewhat in the fact that he does have... he has probably actually a slightly bigger army. Just with the way some of those trades went. But we can see a soldier force come around from the right hand side here. AfterSTAR's actually taking a 5th base, pretty much right in the middle of the map right now. And this is a good position for the soldiers to fight in. This is a really open location. Most of the rifleman damage is going to go in on these soldiers they pour across, which is not what you want. You need to get those dragons down pretty quickly. But it is actually going to look like this mass soldier build is going to pour over on top of these riflemen, getting on the surround now. The catapult gets surrounded, and that's not going to be able to move. Huge amounts of soldiers dropping, which is going to push the battle even further in Scaphism's favour. And he's not managed to bring down any of these dragons, which is what he really needed to do. So you can see about sort of 5 dragons there, there's another 2 back at home. And this 5th base in the map is probably going to be forfeit. There is a tower going to be up now in just a second. But with these soldiers on top now, more dragons coming in to reinforce, this base is going to be forfeit. No mining is going to really happen here. There are some mages now coming though. They don't actually have any upgrades. Fireball is on the way for AfterSTAR, but It's not in time.